Hello, guys. Welcome to our channel once again. If you're not subscribed to our channel, remember to click on the subscription button to get subscribed. And thank you for joining us as always. Today, we're going to be talking about the Housewives of Atlanta, the new episode. How did you guys feel about this episode? Was it better than last week's episode?
I think it was a little bit better, just a tiny bit. It was more things to look at and see, and kind of go, oh wow, too. I mean, on a scale, I would have gave it about a 6.
What about you, Shop Reality? What?
Well, I don't know. It just seems to be all over the place. And I don't know what the core story is supposed to be. It just seems to be all over the place. And it's like Marlo, Marlo, Marlo. But then if Marlo wasn't doing her antics, then what else would we be talking about?
Yeah. Well, I think the only epic thing was the fights between Marlo and Moyet. That was the only thing I could say. Okay, fine. This was really something that I was looking towards to, and that was the only thing that actually did happen in the whole episode for me. Every other thing that came in between was just like, okay, let's just see where it's going. I hope it gets better. Literally, I'm hoping it does get better. But really, what did you feel about the fights between Marlo and how Marlo jammed the door? Did you feel she intentionally did it, or she was just being herself?
Is that for me or?
Anybody? I just threw it out
Oh,
there.
yeah. Yes. I think she was just being her regular self. And it's just like, okay, she was doing things that aggravate Monyetta. But then once Monyetta was ready, I guess, for the conversation, then Marla would head out the door or walk away from her. And I think I did hear in some interview or maybe some tweets that it said that Marlo was not going to give Monyetta a moment. Like she was like purposely agitating her, but then did not want to have the conversation.
I totally agree. It kind of looked like another thing of, throwing rocks and then hiding your hands. You don't want to be responsible for the stuff you starting. You know what I'm saying? If you're starting it, finish it. You know, don't walk away because, oh, all of a sudden you remember in therapy. You know, I didn't understand it. It just seemed like Marlo wanted all the shine. You know, I mean, because she made up with the girl on the trip and said, okay, we're going to squash this. And then the next moment, it was like, gee, two different spins of a head. It was kind of wild, you know. I didn't get it.
I literally did not understand why the fight was literally like I felt like she shouldn't have jammed the door, and the fact that the both of them are just always at it. I don't still understand the core of the fight between Marlo and Moed. I don't understand. As in, are they dragging something? Do they have issues that we don't know about? Because I literally can't understand the origin of this their beef. Or is she inheriting beef that probably because Kandi doesn't like Marlo, Kenya doesn't like Marlo, then she automatically doesn't have to like Marlo? That's what I literally don't understand between that's like the fights. It's like I'm always shocked.
Yeah, well, it's like they came in on like different with the same similarities. You know what I'm saying? So the similarity is they came in as someone's friend, you know. So maybe she doesn't want her to get too advanced in that friendship on the show, where it's going to bring her in. She's going to be holding a peach too, you know. Who knows? You know, it might
That's
be
a
a
good
little bit.
point.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of jealousy there, just a little bit.
That's a good point, and like some sort of hazing going on.
Yeah,
Now I have a peach, you don't, so I'm going to mistreat you. And
yeah,
and then I also noticed with the cast photo last season, Marlo and Kandi were in the center. This season, it looks like Candy's the only one in the center, and everyone is kind of, stepped back like in a V formation. So I guess
right,
Marlo must have really performed not so well for them to remove her out of that position.
right.
Well, I don't know why she, okay, if that's the issue, like someone suggested that she was feeling inferior, that's why she was doing all those things. But I feel it's not necessary, because if a show there's always drama and drama, it loses the interest. Like, we don't really know what's going on in you guys' life. What we know about is, oh, Kenya doesn't like Marlo. Marlo doesn't like this. This doesn't like this. What exactly is going on in Marlo's life right now? What exactly is going on in Kenya's life, like right now? We don't know all those things. And it's pretty upsetting. Like, very, very upsetting on the show.
That's
Well,
true.
moving
Yeah,
forward, how did you feel about Kenya literally telling Sanya to leave, like telling her that she doesn't care, that she should leave and go home? For me, I felt it was disrespectful, because she took the time of her day from her busy schedule, came there for you, and you're like, oh, I don't care, just leave.
yeah, I didn't really care for that scene. I think it was in poor taste. I mean, these ladies are your guests, so no matter what you're feeling, you need to kind of like suck it up and get on with the program. You know what I'm saying? Or at least had a
Yeah,
plan B for them. You know, hey, if this doesn't happen, then hey, this is gonna take place next. This will be the next place we'll go, and you know. And if she didn't want to go, at least set it up for them. You know, so it was kind of
yeah.
like in poor taste.
Yeah, I don't think she cares too much for Sanya. You remember last season? She didn't treat Sanya too well, so I don't think she even really likes Sanya. But I agree. So what you're saying is I have something else. So you were saying that instead of since she couldn't go to the halftime show, that they should still be able to go. Is that
Yeah,
what you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Either to the halftime show or, you know, when they were in the little bar scene or club scene, you know, have something else to go to after that. You know, something that's popping, that's jumping, that's popular, you know, where they can have a good time.
Right.
You know, so I didn't, there was no planning. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, I'm gonna show up, I'm here, I'm a celebrity, love me, you know, and everybody wasn't receiving that, you know. So there should have been a alternative plan.
Well, I just felt like I don't think she literally planned that trip very well. And the fact that after she told her to leave, she was then like, and for me, I love the fact that she decided to still leave. No, even after she found out that she was planning the halftime show, she still decided, because for me, I feel self-respect is important than anything. Since she decided to be that rude enough to send her out without care, why would I be there? As in, I was happy that she left, because it's not worth it. It's like, for me, I probably, because I don't like Kenya, because I see her like a very rude person that doesn't really care for other people. All she just cares about is herself.
Mhm.
So probably I'm a little bit biased towards her, because I don't really fancy her on the show, and I don't see her in a good light like that. I don't. But um th- there's something I wanted to talk about. Shereé and her lying that she literally did not kick that door was very funny to me. She was lying that she didn't kick Kenya's door. She
Wow.
did not want to admit that she kicked the door, and she was the first person. She kicked it and ran away. She did a little bit, a little tiny running. Then now she was like, I didn't kick the door. I didn't kick the door. Like she stood firm on that truth. But I just feel like she wanted everybody to focus more on Marlo, and Kenya did not want to see that probably another person could have actually also kicked the door. She only focused on Marlo's own, and everybody forgot that Sherry actually also kicked that door. But her lying, like her lies was like it was like I was so surprised the way she was lying. The lies was like, how are you keeping a straight face lying like this? But she was like, I don't care for it. How did you feel when she was lying that she didn't kick that door? Even when production was trying to tell her that you did.
Well, I felt that she shouldn't have lied about that because not only did she kick the door, she knocked on the door. You know, she knocked first, gave a little kick, and then ran back. You know, I mean, if you're helping to disturb the peace, you're a grown woman, admit it. You know, like, yeah, Kenya, it was me too, you know, but she just decided, hey, while Kenya's focusing all this on Marlo, I'm gonna let it rest right there. You know,
Exactly.
yeah,
Right, yeah.
no
I don't
accountability.
know. Did she do you think she forgot that she kicked the door? Is it possible that she forgot?
Yeah, I don't
No, I kind of
I
see.
don't know whether I don't think she did forget. I just think she just felt like, okay, everybody's focusing on Marlo. Let's run with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I just think
exactly.
that was the issue. That
Mm,
since Kenya was focused more on Marlo because of the dislike she had for Marlo, so let's just let's just run with it. Let's just run with it. But
yeah,
and
you know.
yeah, you can go on.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, Sh- Cherie, I don't think that she wants to kind of mess up the friendship that her and Kenya has right now. So she's not really trying to get on her bad side.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so too. She's trying to remain neutral, especially since this cast just seems to be all over the place. And what point does why is Courtney there? I don't get it. What?
Yeah. I wanted to ask the whole trip. I kept on asking myself, why was she on this trip? Especially today's episode.
Right. And why did they cast her? Why did they give her a peach? Unless she's going to bring something, very strong later on in the season. But so far, I don't know why they would cast her on this show.
For now, I'm like, the whole episode, I think she only spoke like how many sentences? I was like, what? What? The only time I saw her was when she was trying to pacify Marlo not to go in there to get into an argument. And the next time when they were all in the room talking about Kenya's sickness, that was the only time I saw Courtney. I was like, what is she doing? What was her aim coming to this trip with them? No storyline, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand that Drew is her cousin-in-law, but I think the attraction that her and Marlo had uh, was she had some tea about Kandi, and Marlo kind of just drew to that, like, oh, I'm not bringing the tea right now, but I'm here for it. So she knows that Courtney is sticky, like gum on your shoe, you know?
Ex- exactly. Especially when she was still trying to say she didn't see anything wrong with Marlo hitting the door. I was like, really? Are you such a person that will kiss ass that you literally did not see any wrong in that. I just think she was just there to support Marlo, whatever thing she's doing. Was even if Marlo did anything evil, she was there in support of Marlo.
Yeah, she's kind of taking on like this mirror, like this life coach position, and I don't know if that's what she does, but like she's just messy, and I think we're gonna see a lot more from her.
I hope so because
Mm.
so far I'm trying to wonder why would they give her the peach instead of giving it to Monyetta when Monyetta has had a couple of altercations, I should say altercations, a couple of negative interactions with Marlo so far, and
Right.
Courtney hasn't done anything. But we are only what is this episode five or is that five? So I guess we have a long way to go. So maybe she brought it towards the middle of the season,
Yeah.
whatever the it is.
Exactly. So someone Angela Jackson said Marlo was drunk. Was she really drunk? I don't think she was drunk.
I mean, unless it was some offstage drinking, I don't know. I didn't see really, you know, a lot of drinking. Oh,
I,
oh, oh! I know what she's talking about when Marlo ordered that drink, and when she ran outside and they bought her drink outside to her, which was crazy. I never seen that in my whole life. So
but that
you,
was after the whole altercation. So, justifying her acting like that because of she was drunk. I don't think. If she was drunk, probably after the whole altercation, not before.
yeah, because I think that's the only time I remember seeing her drink. Besides at the little bar slash club that they got thrown out of. Other than that, I don't remember seeing her drink.
Yeah, you're right. I don't remember seeing her being much of a drinker either.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
yeah, yeah. It makes me want
Mm.
to rewatch it.
Exactly. And now to Kenya, her sudden illness. Like, how true do you feel this sickness was, or did you think she was trying to just maybe she had this fear for the performance on the halftime show and decided to, sometimes you just fall sick because of you don't think you're gonna do well.
Mhm.
I felt like fear made her fall sick before the event. I'm sorry, but I did feel like the fear made her fall sick, not because she really was feeling sick. She just had the fear of performing on that huge stage.
Well, I think it could be a possibility, but me, I haven't gotten COVID, so I don't know how it makes you feel and how often a flare up would come. You know, I mean, I hope that she really wasn't sick. You know, but yeah, that you brought up a good point. You know, the the embarrassment of failure on national TV. I mean, because when she did that little thing for Andy, I I, I was looking at that like, like, come on, Kenya, you should have had Monet help you with the steps then, the rehearsal, because I was just, I don't know, I don't know, a reality personnel person trying to be a star, it just didn't work for me.
I hope that she did not fake that illness because, she's, wasting the city's resources by having the paramedics come out. I think she was probably exhausted, overwhelmed, so much going on, the divorce, the show, running after a little kid, a little child, and just so much going on. And then I had mentioned in the previous episodes, she's kind of snarky and kind of mean to her assistant. Like, have you guys noticed that she doesn't speak to her assistant very nicely? So maybe
Yeah.
she's just stressed out and it was just overwhelming and it took its toll on her.
Hmm.
I hope she's not faking. I think she was really, really sick. I don't think she was faking.
You know why I actually you know why I was saying I feel like so like I know she was sick, but the way why I was feeling it that way because remember later on after the ladies got together, Marlo was like she called the hospital, she wanted to send flowers and they told her she was already checked out and she was like, oh, that early. So that got me thinking like that early you already checked out. Was it really that big of she made it look so big. That's why I was saying probably I feel like it was fear that made her act like that.
Yeah, I mean, but like with TV, we don't know like how many hours have passed in between time. Because remember she said, "Hey, I'm here at the hospital." They were like, "Can we come and visit?" She's like, "No." They were trying to get an IV and they're unable to do it. That's dehydration. When you can't get an IV in your arm, you know. So what I'm saying, this in order to bring up, it takes a while if a nurse or a phlebotomist is dealing with you, trying to get an IV in your arm, trying to get it started, because there's only so many places they can actually go, you know. So I don't know how much time passed, like an hour or two, and maybe they got the IV started and she was able to get pumped full of fluids and she felt better and she left by the time Marlo said, "Hey, I'm gonna send flowers," you know. So if it was like 30 minutes, then yeah, I would, for as bad as she act like she was feeling, I would have still been in the hospital in emergency, but maybe she was strong enough to walk out. I don't know.
And maybe, and also, that's a good point. We don't know how long she was there, and it could have been stress related. Sometimes when you're stressed out, anxiety kicks in, heart rate goes up. So a lot of it could have been stress related. And at the time when it was happening to her, it seemed to be a lot more severe than what it was. But do you think the hospital actually gave Marlo that information, or did the producers tell her that? Because I cannot imagine her calling the hospital, with those HIPAA laws that they told her that Kenya had checked out and what time she had checked out. You think the hospital would give her that information?
No, I don't. I don't. They're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So the producers had to have told her that.
Mm.
And the producers would have had the right information. So if they told Marlo that she checked out, she had really checked out because the producers would have such information.
Right. So
Anyway,
yeah, as if they were trying to, create an issue there by them telling her that she'd already checked out, but Kenya had not told the ladies that, right? Because the last bit of information Shereé got was from the assistant that she was still in the hospital,
yes.
right? Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So then that just places doubt in the ladies' heads, like, oh, we're still thinking that she's sick and she's still in the hospital, and then we find out she's checked out, hours ago. Either way, I think she really was exhausted, overwhelmed, sick, and all of that stuff. But I feel bad because she says she keeps getting sick. I wonder if she's getting it from her daughter. Her daughter goes to school, right? Being around all those other kids. I wonder if that's where she's getting it from.
I don't know. She
Uh,
mentioned that she had COVID, you know, before, and
Right. She keeps getting sick, she said.
yeah, so I've known a few people who've had it, and yeah, they get sick quite often now, but like I said, I haven't caught it, you know, and I don't know how it exactly does your body.
yeah. Well, I wish she would get better from now on. I literally hope she'll get better from now on. But did you that scene where all the ladies were um together in the room? Sorry, I'm trying to bring that up. Okay. I think I'm having an echo.
Oh, okay.
I like that little duster that Shereé had on. I don't know what that is, but it's cute. You know, the yellow, black, and green stripes. I thought that was cute.
Yeah. I kind of remind me of a moo. I kind of got a few of those.
Right. Exactly. A muumuu, a stylish muumuu. Everything she has on just looks great.
Stylish.
She always looks great. And I see she had her glam
Yeah.
team with her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, would you go anywhere without your glam team? I mean, if you had that kind of money, you know what I'm saying? I am my
Right.
glam team, and
Right.
I'm a mess constantly, you know. But yeah, they pull her together wonderfully.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Uzo, are
But
you
yeah, that's
there?
Yeah, I'm back. I was trying to get what was echoing on from my end. Oh, okay, so this scene here where they were trying to like talk about Kenya's sickness, the prayer thing. Like I was like, last night you guys were literally almost at each other's throats, and now you guys are trying to be friends. And what you're telling us that you made up, that kind of looked sketchy to me.
yeah. I liked what Monet said. She said something about I don't usually I don't make deals with terrorists. That killed me right there. It tickled me, because I thought that was funny, but yeah, Marlo, she wanted to make up, and um Monet was kind of like, no, we're not gonna hug, because you got to stand in this, and she wanted her to be accountable for slamming that door, which she did slam the door. I kept rewinding and watching and she slammed that door. She did, and the door didn't slam as hard as she probably wanted it to because the door was heavy, but yeah, it did slam, you know?
Yeah.
It sure did. That was really mean. I
That
guess
was
she was
really
just
mean.
angry. Oh, I do hear echo now. Oh, okay, it's gone. Yeah, that was really mean for her to slam that door. She knew those ladies were behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like Marlo, but she does kind of have
Me
this like
too.
mean streak that just comes out. And then
Yeah.
she's sorry after it. After she, displays that rude behavior, then she wants to apologize.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of a little kid. They do something bad and then they go, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Wow. Though, did you feel this apology and the making up? Do you think it's gonna last long? Do you think that they're gonna last long, or it's gonna very soon explode?
It is going to explode. I'm telling you, when Manea gets around her girls, Candy, and
Exactly.
yeah, I think it's gonna be like, okay, all bets off, you know, because it didn't really
It,
last then. From
No,
one scene
just
they were praying for Kenya, and then the next scene they were cursing each other out, and just causing all kind of ruckus in the hotel. And I'm like, golly, where's the cops? I know they're coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Like they were doing too much. You know,
I'm telling
if I would
you.
have been there, I'd have been like embarrassed.
I don't
Yeah.
think they feel embarrassed by the way they react. Like in especially when they were trying to fight and people were there in public, like a lot of people, and they didn't feel anything. They almost threw hands.
Hmm.
I literally don't think they actually do have um that shame. The shame is gone. So I don't think they feel shame whenever they do what they want to do. I don't think they do feel that shame. Because if they do, they won't be fighting the way they are fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is a TV show. So, the people see cameras following behind these people. So, I don't think they are ashamed or embarrassed when it's a television show with a camera crew. Everyone knows that you're filming something. But that Marlo is just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Very
a loose cannon. They
unpredictable.
better be careful with her.
No, yeah.
Very, very. Like 1 minute she's okay, the next you're like, how did you get here? How did
Right.
you get to this place? Like the way she got to that anger today, I was like, okay, how did we get here? Well, that's Marlo for you. If she's not doing all these things again, the show would not have anything to talk about. In short, the
Absolutely
whole
nothing.
cast wouldn't have what to talk about.
That's true. But
Absolutely nothing.
I think Marlo has a lot of self-inflicting wounds that she probably caused herself through life, and then her nephew, and she's holding on to a whole lot of pain and grief. you
She
know
sure is. I agree. And last season when her mother came on, I found that fascinating. The
mm,
relationship she and her mother had, the discussions that they had. I wanted to see more of that, but so far the mother hasn't been on there. But that revealed a lot about,
yeah.
her behavior. Yeah.
Hmm. The foster homes, and the break-in in her house, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
And she's aware of it because then we saw
Yeah.
her speaking to her life coach. And then that's another reason why she wears the extravagant clothing and the
Right.
extravagant lifestyle. Yes, because she said, she didn't have much growing up in those foster homes. So
Right.
this makes her feel good, feel happy to have the expensive clothes and all the
Hmm.
bling around her.
Yeah. I mean, understandable. You got to have something in this life to bring you some type of happiness, and if that is it for
Yeah.
her, you know, I wish her well and happy shopping.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
because I love her fashion.
Oh
I
gosh.
do, yeah.
I'd be
I
like, go
do love
on,
her fashion.
Marlo. Yeah, I'm like, go on, Marlo, from head to toe.
Head to toe is right.
Hmm.
She and Shereé together, it's like, oh my gosh, the clothes that they're
Yeah.
wearing. It's
Oh
just,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. It kind of makes you wonder: are they like buying these clothes themselves, or do they have a stylist, or do they have somebody that sends them clothes, and then they look through everything, go, I'm gonna keep this, I'm gonna keep that, and then have a stylist come in and be like, okay, this, and that go together. Like, I sure like to know.
Hmm.
Curious.
Okay, let's talk about Candy and her husband. He bringing out an idea of his, like trying to talk to his wife about this idea and how they could make it in to become a reality. And she was literally on her phone, pressing it. I was like, I said it at that moment. This guy has so much patience because not everybody would be talking to their spouse and you are like literally still less concerned, pressing your phone, seeing as if you don't care about what they're saying. Like I felt bad for the husband at that moment. He was just looking at her like you could see his face. He was defeated. He had that
Yeah.
defeated look on him, like What am I going to do?
When is
I
my
felt
turn?
bad for him.
Yeah, he was looking like, when is it my turn?
Yeah,
His his opportunity to let her know what he's been working on and get her feedback, and it just kind of didn't work out that way. I mean, she's worldwide, like she said, so I'm pretty sure she got like texts coming in and emails she got to address, and but I felt that she could have set aside that time. I don't know if it was an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, set alone aside that time, turn the phone upside down and give them your undivided attention, because we're talking about dollar bills, making money, and family growth and financial growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sick of this
yeah,
too. To be honest, I fast forward their scenes. It's the same thing every season with her and him. He's saying that she's too busy. She's got so much going on. It's the same storyline. And for the life of me, I don't understand why they would think that she could carry this show. That's her life. Is so interesting that we want to see it when it's the same mundane thing with her and her mother not liking the husband saying she's too busy, she's got so many irons in the fire. She gives us the same thing season after season after season. So you let Nene Leaks go, and you thought that the show was going to be able to pull in the same numbers and the interest without Nene and give Kandi, put Kandi as the star of this show. And what I don't understand is the ratings are so low, and Kandi has all of those followers on Instagram. Clearly, they don't watch her on this show.
Wow.
ex- yeah. I thought the same thing. Like she even went live a few minutes ago before we came live, and she had like close to 2,000 people watching, and I was like, how do you have this kind of? How do you put this kind of numbers and you can put them to watch your show? She, as in, I think after last week's episode, I went online on Twitter and Nini was like trending. A lot of people were complaining. People were like, they need to bring back Nini. They need to bring back Kim. They need to bring back Portia. That's what people were saying. I never saw anybody come in defense of, okay, let's keep Candy. At this moment, people are so tired that they could literally afford her being fired from the show.
Right. It's you get the same thing every season with her. Like, why do we want to keep seeing the mother going after the husband
Like
saying she's too busy?
it's,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I, I even felt like again when today's episode they had this chat again. I was like, is it not enough? Is it not demeaning enough that you guys, as a grandma that she is, she talks about another person's child in that way? When I know she would not be happy if somebody's on screen talking about her own daughter in the way she talks about her. It pisses
Right.
Yeah,
me off.
yeah. I think, I don't know, maybe her mom is a little envious of Candy's life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I we haven't heard about Mama Joyce going on any dates, nothing. I don't get it. Like, could she have picked a better match for Candy? And if so, why didn't she present it when she ran the first little dude off when they first started the show that
Oh
passed
my,
away?
not the first little dude.
Yeah, you
She
you remember
did.
she didn't
She was
like him
so,
either.
oh my gosh, the things she would say about
Yeah,
that man. Nobody is ever good enough in her eyes.
yeah, but that's how mothers feel, you know. But
Yes.
I'm just saying, if you didn't like her choices, why didn't you present her with what you felt she needed?
Good point.
You know.
And now she has someone who really seems to care for her. He has helped her. She's even admitted that with his
Yeah,
business acumen, he has helped to elevate her. You know that they have all these businesses. He's a smart person. What is the
yeah,
issue now? You know,
yeah.
you're still trying to paint him as a freeloader. Clearly, he's not. If he was, he isn't anymore. He has helped her achieve a lot of things. So
All right.
why keep bringing it up season after season after season? Like Candy, is it you have the same story every season? But when there are other things that we could talk about, like remember that one employee who was suing her for non-payment? That was interesting, but
Yeah.
she didn't want to talk about that on the show. And now these issues with the incidents at her restaurant, Marlo's trying to bring it up. She doesn't want to talk about that. Phaedra, she doesn't want her back on the show. So what purpose do you serve at this point, Candy? I am not interested. I fast forward her scenes when she's just without the girls. There's nothing
Mhm.
there. There's nothing for me to see. Like I didn't even see this scene, but hearing you guys talk, it seems like it's the same thing where she's criticizing Todd.
Yeah. She was criticizing Todd here, and Candy was like, "Oh, mom, I'm tired of this," and she was like, "Let's go to therapy." I was like, "How many years now?"
How many years? Who said let's go to therapy? The mother or Candy?
Candy.
Right. So now she's trying to get a storyline out of going to therapy. Oh, give it a rest,
Yeah.
Candy. Bring Nene back. Bring Phaedra back. Candy needs to go. If she can't be on there with Phaedra, we don't need you on here, Candy. You serve no purpose. I don't see what the hoopla is. I don't see why people just Candy, Candy. Like what does she bring to the show?
I felt like I preferred her in XUV and Escape, the Queen of R&B, than
Mhm.
because then there was something to talk about because we
Right.
know the music and everything. We have band.
You're right. There was
I
some
loved
balance there.
SUV. Yes, I watched it. I was in love with that season. Like when it was ending, I was like, wow, I wish there will be a season two of SUV, SWV and Escape. I literally was praying for that. I prefer her
Yeah, me
there.
too.
But here I think she's a different kind of person here. I don't like her here. I
Right.
don't.
And it seems like the other ladies, well, not all of them, but the other Kenya, Drew, Sanya, or these
Yeah.
people, it's like they put her up on a pedestal. Like, okay, yes, she's been here longer
Yeah.
than everybody else, but she's not
Mm-hmm.
bringing anything. And what I don't understand about this show is they brought the same cast back from last season. Last season was bad. You bring the same people back and think you're going to get a different result. Then you add this Courtney. What is she supposed to bring? It's just time to let these people go. Keep a few of them. Like keep Kenya. You know, I'm not a big fan of Kenya's, but at least, Kenya does bring something to the show. Even though her own personal storyline she doesn't have one, but she knows how to create good reality TV. But these other people like Candy, why is she still there? Nene needs to be back on this show as soon as
Right.
possible. If Nene was here, oh my goodness, I can only imagine the things she would have said about that Birmingham trip. The back and
Oh
forth
my
between
God.
yes, the back and forth with Nene and Kenya
Kenya would
and
have
Nene
been lit on fire.
right, Nene and Shereé going back and forth. It would be epic if Nene was back on this show.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You know,
Kenya,
uh,
I don't think Kenya would have even attempted what she attempted in Alabama if Nini was here. She wouldn't because the fear of Nini is the beginning of wisdom. Her mouth alone is enough to make you know the right thing to do.
Right. Yep.
So I don't think she would have attempted that. Like Nini wouldn't have given her the opportunity to even allow them to be thrown out of a club. Talk more of Kenya leaving them and going to bed. Hmm.
Right. They would have gone somewhere to turn up if Nene was on there, not turn
Yeah.
down.
yeah. But one thing I could say, one thing about Candy, but what Candy will bring, is Candy don't take no mess from nobody. She's subdued, and she'll be like, yeah, okay, 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 but when she's fed up, girl, she's ready to headbutt you.
and then cry, and then cry. Don't forget the
Well,
tears.
well, I mean, is that fear of, hey, I'm about to lose all my personal shit going through court, and you know, am I about to be arrested and have a mug shot? I don't
Not
know if that's
much.
the fear of it after everything jumps off, but yeah, Candy, she's pretty explosive when you back her into a corner.
Yeah. But I think Candy's story is mainly the stories of others. People bring their story to Candy. Candy doesn't like talking about her own story. Anything too personal, she takes it like, oh, I can't talk about it. But she wants others to talk about those personal things. It's not fair. You don't want to talk about personal things about yourself. Why are you pushing for others to be outspoken and personal about themselves if you're not doing the same?
Right. I mean, I understand, but like when it came to the shooting that happened at the restaurant, and when she said, "Hey, we can't talk about it," because remember the producer was saying, "Hey, there's an elephant in the room. Are we going to discuss it?" And you know, he was telling, Candy was telling the producer, you know, this is still going on in court, so legally we can't even speak on it. You know, so maybe that's why that scene never happened and we didn't get the whole inside of the story. But I
Mm.
mean, other things, I feel like she can be a little bit more open and let us in.
Right, and stop giving us the same story with her mother and with her husband. If that's all you have to bring, then why are you still here? Why would they give up Nene for this? Now I'm pretty sure there's lots of behind the scenes stuff going on, but you couldn't resolve
Mhm.
that, and now look at this show. It's horrible. It's just horrible. You
Yeah.
could just tell that the ladies are just like scratching and clawing, trying to make something happen. And then you have pros like Kenya who knows, okay, we've got to get this show going. We've got to get something going. Then you've got an issue with Marlo, who is, I guess, doing stuff that the other ladies are just in real life having an issue with. You see them post stuff on Twitter about her behavior and the things that she's doing. So it just seems to be all over the place. And the best way to
Yeah.
to solve the issue is just apologize, do what you need to do, and get this lady back on this show because she was Real Housewives.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. It needs to
Exactly.
be more storyline, more action, more realness, you know,
Yeah.
Right,
more
more
And
realness,
transparency.
reality.
Yeah.
uh-huh. The,
I
the
mean,
the
why?
the way it was before. I was trying to say that they should go back to the old seasons, how they were before. Like you would watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you would know what exactly is going on in each and every one of them's life. Like you will know what is going on. But now, sometimes we don't even know what's going on.
Right. I think they have.
Sometimes we don't know.
I think that they might have certain clauses like we're not going to discuss this. We're only going to shoot here. I'm going to shoot with this person and not that person. I don't know what's going on, but it's reality TV. Give us some reality, you know?
I one thing I'm waiting for is I want to see this week's ratings.
Mm.
Last week they used the excuse that it was Memorial Day. A lot of people were even watching TV. A lot of people were outing with their families. So a lot of people were not watching TV. So I want to see how this week's ratings is gonna be, and I want to see the excuse they are gonna give.
Hmm. Yeah, well, the producer needs to kind of take notes and try and work it out, before anything goes lower than what you guys are stating that it is.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because it's horrible.
Right. for the first time, Real Housewives of Atlanta has never gotten these ratings. The one they had last week has never happened before on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they did. It is so bad. And we've been hearing rumors that they want to fire most of them since the ratings came out last week. And I feel like let it not be rumors, let it be true.
Mm.
Most of them has to be fired. Or probably if they put this fire of like, okay, most of you are gonna be fired, probably there might be a change from them. Like they might want to put in more efforts, realizing that a lot of people are getting tired of watching the show. A lot of people don't literally like some to watch the show. I need to give myself encouragement, like so much encouragement. I'm like, okay, you have to watch it, you have to talk about it, just watch it. It should not be like that. I should not
Right.
have to encourage myself to watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
should.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I totally agree, because I kind of found myself when I was watching it, I would look away and do something else and then go, oh my God, I was supposed to be paying attention. It wasn't really holding my attention. So I would have to
Yeah,
rewind it just to see if I missed anything, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't miss anything. It was just kind of like a little boring.
very.
Very, very. Like I said, I didn't even watch it yesterday, and that's one thing I used to look forward to. Okay,
Yeah.
tonight
Yeah,
Anna's coming. I was like, I'm not interested. I'll just have to, and I ended up watching it on YouTube today,
Mm.
just
I I
for the.
have I have told myself yesterday when my sister she was like, "Oh, are you not gonna watch it live?" I was like, I don't think I can put myself through that punishment watching it live.
Punishment.
It felt like a punishment because watching it live, it's like I have to stick with it. But if I'm watching it after, if anywhere seems like okay, there's nothing here, I could just easily rewind or fast forward, just move forward. Don't even bother watching that part. But watching it live, I just have to stick with it. So I told her that I don't think I want to put myself through that punishment of watching it live. That's how bad it was. I remember when I was watching SWV, I was like, always like, okay, it's coming on, it's coming on. I always wanted to watch it, but I was excited when they announced that Real Housewives of Atlanta was coming, the new season. But after the first episode, I started shaking. Like, I don't think this season is what I expected it to be. It's not what I was expecting it to be. And the fact that none of them is literally acknowledging the fact that the season is doing bad. They still come online, give themselves, fight themselves on Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, you guys are not really acknowledging that it's doing poorly.
That's so funny. So wait a minute. So you
Mm.
said the women are fighting each other on Twitter, but they don't realize that the show is doing poor.
Um,
No, it's true. Um, I think someone was talking to me today. I was like, "Oh, did you see what Marlo and Monyetta were talking on Twitter? They were arguing, they were exchanging words on Twitter." And I was like, "Really? They have the time to do that? Why would you be fighting on Twitter when you should be praying that let the episode do better than last week's?"
yeah.
And you're here on your phone typing, oh, she's this. We don't need that. What is your Twitter work gonna do for the show getting better? Nothing.
Yeah, or save it all for the show.
Exactly. It was going to be interesting if you guys were having Twitter war. If the show is interesting, like I see something happen on the show and I'm anticipating what are they gonna give themselves on Twitter? What insults are they gonna give themselves on Twitter? But right now, I don't even bother to read their tweets
Mm.
because I'm thinking, what are you giving yourself? Because I literally didn't find anything interesting on the show for me to not even be interested in Marlo and Went's fight or and whatever they are tweeting should show you enough. And they Mm. I felt sad that they decided that okay, we're going to have a Twitter fight. We're going to fight online when your show was doing badly. I'm still trying to reconcile the facts like they did that. Truly I don't look at that tweet again. The only time I looked at their tweets and whatever thing they were talking about each other was the first episode. After that, I don't think I looked at any of them tweets because if you're tweeting absolute is absolutely useless to me.
Right.
I watched the show even as I was watching it. I wasn't watching it live. I watched the show and I was doing my housework. I wasn't concentrated. I was doing my housework and I was watching the show.
Wow.
That's how bad, man.
Yeah.
I had high hopes, and that's why I'm probably more disappointed than most because I had high hopes for the show.
Yeah, me too. I was excited about them coming back, because I was like, okay, what are they going to give us this time? Like, what are they going to show us that we haven't seen last time? Or what are we going to find out that we didn't know? And it's kind of like the same old thing.
It's
Yep,
disappointing.
the same old thing.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing that you have to. I don't think if I went back to watch the review we did on episode 4 and episode 3. I
Mhm.
think in episode okay last week's episode we reviewed it for like 20 minutes and the remaining we were just bashing the show. It was that
Wow.
was yeah, that was how bad it was because there was nothing absolutely to talk about.
Wow.
Just like this week, there is nothing. That's why I said the only thing that was iconic for me was the fight, and it didn't even last up to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It didn't even last up to 5 minutes. It was that's what I'm saying. I prayed today, I pray this week's ratings does better than last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these
it was
ladies.
very deceptive because they made us think that there was something else that happened at Kenya's door other than just her opening the door and saying that. I
Mhm.
thought she was going to come out. I think that was it. She just closed the
Yeah,
door and said she's going to call the police, and then that was the end of it.
Yeah, that's just like giving somebody a plate full of potatoes and no meat. you know, like, what am I going to do with this?
What am I going to do with this?
Yeah. You know,
oh my god.
so
Oh yeah.
I hope they bring it, you know, I hope they give us some, some drama.
Yeah. Uh, but like, did you see the preview for next week's episode?
Yes.
Yes, with Candy saying she's going to headbutt somebody.
That was Marlo now. I think that was Marlo.
Or how is she going to do it? Isn't Marlo like 7 or 8 inches taller than Candy? Like, how are you going to headbutt somebody? How? How is she going to
Oh
headbutt
my
Marlo?
god.
Uh, I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god.
Maybe she plans on
Uh,
attacking the knees first to bring her down a little
Attacking
bit.
the knee.
Uh, well, how else you gonna get somebody down that low? You know, you go for the knee.
Go for the knee.
uh,
Oh,
It's
but
like, what did
I
Marlo say
felt
to her? Marlo.
but I felt like Kenya was being well. Kenya is being Kenya. She was the one that brought that drama because I felt it was absolutely unnecessary for her to have told I've told Candy about revisit that shooting case again. I knew Kenya was looking for trouble when she went back to tell Candy. She was stirring the pot. And I can't wait for next week. I am hoping it's better. I hope they don't actually catfish us. Deceive
yeah,
us so that When we get into next week now, everybody now is saying, I'm waiting for next week, I'm waiting for next week. Then we get to next week and you watch the episode and you're like, wow, we could actually go and find these producers. What the hell was that? I just hope that's not another epic fail. Me anticipating like I am now, then getting to next week and I'm seeing absolute rubbish on my screen.
Yeah, it's kind of like going through the matrix. You know, you're feeling one thing and then you're coming out on the other side and you're like, what just happened? You know, it wasn't no girth to the contents, you know, because I expect more out of these ladies, you know.
Right. And that's why I said Kenya does come in, that's she's useful for that because she knows the show needs something. So that's probably
Mm-hmm.
why she did go back and tell Candy, like, guys, we've got to get this show going because I know what footage that we have. There's nothing here. Did you guys see the show years ago called R&B Divas? Do you remember that one with Kelly Price and Shantae Moore?
Yeah,
No.
I,
Okay, well,
I,
in a nutshell, they were saying that they had started filming their show, and then the producer set them down and said, "Hey, you guys are gonna have to bring something because otherwise we're just gonna scrap this show." So
mm,
those conversations do happen apparently where they tell these ladies, "Come on, we've got nothing. You're gonna have to create something." So that's why I said
right.
Kenya was always good with that. She knew how to press Nini's buttons. She knew how to
Mm,
get something started. But this cast that she has with her, it's like, what kind of strings can she pull? If she pulls Marlo's string just a little bit, then you don't know what you're going to get from Marlo. And then this other group is so they're not cohesive. Drew just seems like the baby of the group. I don't know how old she is, but she just seems so much younger than all of these other ladies. And she may not be, but she just seems so much younger. Sanya just seems to be a fish out of water. This Courtney person, why is she there? Who is she supposed to be friends with? She's Sheree's friend, right? Supposedly. I
yes,
don't even see. Does she and Sheree even interact? I don't
like
even see them
They didn't.
interact.
a little bit,
She's just there
a little
because you
bit,
know they have to come in as somebody's friend. Now they do know each other because their kids went to school together, right?
right?
But you know, Real Housewives of Potomac, Monique said, "Do you watch Real Housewives of Potomac?"
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Monique said she didn't know any of those ladies. She didn't know Charisse. They introduced her
Mhm.
as Charisse's friend. She said she did not meet Charisse until she filmed the first night when they were at casino night. When she walked in, that was
Oh
the first
wow.
time she ever met Charisse. Right. So they have to say you're friends of somebody to get on
Mm,
there. And then you find out these people don't really know each other.
wow. Yeah, I
I
guess
won't be
they're just
surprised.
associates. No, I said
I
maybe they're
literally,
associates.
Yes.
probably. Hmm. I feel like probably that will be true. But we'll just blink. But she's more closer to Marlo than Shereé. I see her have more interactions with Marlo
Right. She
than
does.
Shereé.
Hmm.
I think her herself naturally she has this nice connection with Marlo. Even if she came in as a friend of Shereé, she
Hmm.
just loves. I think she just naturally likes Marlo. So she's drawn towards Marlo.
I think she wants to, like I said, she's sticky, you know. So wherever she can stick to, that's where she's gonna be. She's sticky like a piece of gum on your shoe.
uh, I, I hope that. Well, I just hope that they will do better. Literally, I hope they will do better because I don't want to get tired and disappointed in them. No, and I want next week's episode to be better. That we'll have a lot of topics to talk about. We'll have a lot of things to argue about. We'll have a lot of things to say. No, not that we literally don't have things to talk about. Like it's upsetting to want to review a show. Or you're talking about a show and you don't have anything to say. You don't have much to talk about what actually happened in the episode. So I literally hope that next week will be better.
Yeah, I
I
hope so
do.
too. So,
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. If you're not subscribed to our channel, remember to click on the subscription button down below to subscribe to our channel. You can subscribe to ShopRite TV's YouTube channel, and you can also subscribe to Unfiltered Uzo's YouTube channel. We'll see you guys same time next week.
Bye.
see you
That's so
guys
much
later.
fun.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
You
you.
too. I enjoyed it.
Eh.